Morning, morning. Hope everybody is well. It is Friday, the 24th of July, and we're going to go through London this morning. So make sure if you're in here, you get your questions ready. But obviously, I will go through everything, what's been happening. So macro kind of outlook, or let's do a bit of a war outlook, So we're on 13 days, straight at the moment of nighttime attacks. No pause in escalation. We've got lots of rumors flying around everywhere. So. Yeah, I'm expecting, yeah, we've just got to, run with obviously what we have got, in regards to, rumors. We obviously had oil is starting to pull back slightly, so that's quite interesting. Um, so basically we've got not direct talks, we've got indirect talks in Oman, where that they are they're but basically trying to resolve everything, but apparently Iran have turned down a temporary ceasefire agreement. They want something a bit more permanent, but obviously talks are coming in. They also have threatened to attack Gulf countries holding US bases, but again, it's threats. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But obviously, yes, escalation hasn't cooled. Let's also have a look at what we've got going on today. All right, so we've got had retail sales, good positive data for pound, like obviously we've had for everyone for June. We've got some PMI data for pound too, and obviously for US later on. So pretty active. We've got a lot of inflation data. Remember, June inflation's good, and potentially couple that up with a ceasefire, we might start to, see things to tumble. I actually want to go, and we'll obviously look at the dollar here. Do I think that there's enough for us to push past 101 500? Probably not, you know. So probability wise, it's very, very tricky this morning, and obviously I'll explain why. We do have, a bit of support here. All right, so we're coming down. We've obviously breached, like I'd said, these 500s hold. We've obviously breached up, rejected from here. So potentially, I'm expecting price to potentially finish the day in this area here. Um, I don't think there's enough, but I do think there's been a big enough move, and across the board, it looks like we've got some cooling. I mean, yields are going to be the one to watch, but it looks like dollar, we've got a bit of cooling, oil down 1.8% today, to obviously after this massive, move here. If we look at oil on the weekly, that is a crazy candle here. But obviously, again, it could pull back down slightly, potentially to like 87, something like that, which is obviously going to help us in the long run here. So because of this, I am, going to watch everything closely, but I'm going to go slightly against the dollar, especially as we have got inflation data coming out for euro and the pound, and we obviously know inflation was cooling in June, so should obviously should see that start to cool. All right. Let's now have a look at previous day. All right, we've got a couple of kind of overall targets here. One is potentially yesterday's high, and then the other one is the day before's low here, which I think is reasonable for us to get hit. Now, I'm going to go slightly more aggressive. Today, we've had a very, very, very slow Asia, so I also want to mark the Asian high because obviously this breaking out is pretty important here. Let's have a little bit of a lower time frame. So I actually would like to have our entry around here. Let's just pit this down and see what we're looking at here. Yeah, around this. Right, let's have a look at this top one here. Uh, 3, 3. Am I on the right thing here? There we go. There we go. Right. I think 265, 3, 3, 6, 5. Let's do something like this. There we go. That is what I would like to get retested. We've obviously got, what did I mark up here? I've forgotten. Yeah, previous daily high. I'm pretty sure that that will get hit. But then we're going to overall target. What are we doing here? Let's just have a little look. Because our stops need to be probably 20, 25. Let's do 25 pips and 50. So we're going to be in the middle here slightly. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with this. I want this to come down, trigger, and then I want this to continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want this to trigger to the upside. Right, it's this. That's our TP. So let's get rid of this. TP1. I'm going to target these lows here. Then we've got entry one. We just remember we just want this to pull back slightly. Yeah. So we just want this to pull back slightly. There we go. Something like this. There we go. And the red is our invalidation, stop loss. So let me just put this in the group, and then we're good to go. GBP USD trade idea. Okay, that is GBP USD here. It's just been posted in the group if this uploads. Euro USD, let's just double check that's uploaded. Yes, it has. Right, cool. So Euro USD, let's just mark a few things out. Obviously, I want to buy this as well. So we've got the daily, we got yesterday's day, which I'm going to mark that up. Let's have a look at the sessions. Really much else. I'm going to just plumb with yesterday's day. So you just zoom in here a little bit more. Where's Asia? Asian high, I'm going to mark that up because that needs to be at the top of our entry here because I do think that's going to get retested. So we're going to go for that. Just put this here. I wanted to have a 20 pip entry as well. So we're going to do something like this, which actually be spot on. Um, we're going to go slightly more aggressive this morning. So I do think we're going to have something similar where I think we're going to have a bit of a bigger London move. We're going to do the same targets as GBP. So we're going to have a 25 pip stop. Fifth, I actually think we can push this up a little bit higher. I think we can go to 60. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of this. That's GB, that's Euro USD here, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully you guys are realizing the planning that goes out and it doesn't actually take too, long. Once you get in a good r rhythm and you know what you're kind of looking for, I'm going to go with this as our TP1 here. It's a few levels of support. So TP1 is really where, if you wanted to take a bit of profit off the table, you can. If you wanted to pull stops to break even, you can. If you're not even liking the trade, you can obviously, you can pull out of it if you want to. And so that's how you want to treat a TP1 on intraday anyway. I really hope we get a pullback here. I don't want to have another day where we just get one big run. But obviously we're putting everything in the right place. There we go, right. So yen. Yen's an interesting one here because we could see a bit of a tumble, but it's a bit of a high risk trade. So I would go for Asia. That's our Asian, session here. But we could see a little bit of a tumble here. Daily, potentially down into this. This could be our target. Let's have a look here. So if we were to do something like this, if we could even do it, right, 435, 735, something like this. Now, I don't want to take the biscuit on this. What if we had a 25 pip and we had a 50 pip? So if we don't push it, I actually think we should be able to work out, even if we pushed it to like 60, something like this. I actually really, really like this because if we do, I mean, it is a bit more high risk because we are going against trend, but actually, counter trend wise, we are not because we're still agreeing with the overall trend. We're just we're just looking to make sure that we are right. TP1 probably here, it doesn't. TP1's a bit irrelevant here because I think if this goes, it's going to go hard. So I'm going to put this in as well because I do like the idea of it. USD trade idea. And let's do what everyone wants. Gold. So let's break down gold. So pre had a lot of movement on gold. So we've got yesterday's high here. All right. Mhm. If we go to Asia, I mean, we've almost pretty much engulfed Asia. I don't really like that we're bashing into this Asian high, if I'm honest. Mm. So I'm going to tread a little bit safer for gold. Let's do 435. I don't really like it because this was this was a good anchor yesterday. Um, and anywhere we put it here, I'm actually going to hold off trading gold. I think the move, I do think gold's going to go to the upside. I just want it to break this and then test that Asian high and then move because we're going to probably find out which direction we're going to head. But if we do break and come back up and retest, we could be looking at this move here. So something like this. But obviously, I just don't like, like I've mentioned. All right, we don't have to take trades. All right, so we know the direction that we want to take it. We're not pushing it at all. But obviously, we also, we need to be a bit realistic and trying to buy gold, on a intraday time frame. It's not a problem, lower time frame because we can buy from here and take it into this Asian high, and we've made 60 pips there happy. But obviously, where we are right now, I don't really want to trade it. But if you're going to, I'd wait for this Asian high to break, retest, and then continue to the upside here. That's what I will be looking at. Because if we look at obviously, sessions, we could have something very, very similar to yesterday where we've had, if we look at this, that was about 280 pips Asia yesterday, and we've had less on Asia today. Well, pretty much the same. And then if you look at London, we have had yesterday, we had like 875, so it's pretty crazy. So that could potentially be something like this. All right. You know, And then obviously New York would take us to previous day's high. Right, let's have a look, see if we've got any questions. Right. Oh, we've got a few. Greg, at least yields and DXY seem to be more line for the last week on 2 hour, at least very small Asian session. Yep. So we're obviously expecting an explosive London or New York session because of it. Lorene, will today be a sell or a buy day? I've explained the trades here. I've explained obviously what I'm looking at, why. Um, yen triggered. Perfect. That's what we like to see. I want some triggers because we didn't have anything yesterday. So remember, USD JPY is a bit more high risk, but I think we're pretty safe here with our stops. I'd be surprised if we blast up through. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking at today. We'll obviously reevaluate gold at 130. And yeah, we'll obviously try and capitalize as much as we can. So yeah, I hope everyone has a brilliant Friday. Remember, I'm always here if you've got any questions. Feel free, drop me a message. Just a quick one in the chat. If you could put yes or no. Do you guys prefer me doing the trades like this, where obviously I am laying them all out live from start to finish at 8, or did you prefer me just doing them on my own at 6:30 and then hopping on a live afterwards? All right, so yes means you obviously like how we're doing it now. Okay, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well, that's a new unanimous decision. So yeah, we'll carry on. We will carry on. Right. Have a great Friday, everyone, and let's smash it. Have a good one.